Welcome to topic 2. We're going to learn about creating customer value. So this is essentially what supply chain is about. We're creating value for the end customer, or at least the next customer in line. Now, sometimes we are the last step before the end customer, end user of our product or service. So we are definitely focusing on that. So let's go ahead and switch over there. There we go. All right, so learning objectives, feel free to read those. We're still in the define bubble here, so we're trying to define everything that you guys are going to need to know so we can move on. Introductions there, you guys go ahead and take a reading of it. Pretty short. They do a little bit talking about Aldi. If you've ever been to an Aldi, you'll kind of understand them from this. Creating customer value. We look at it from different types of utility. So we look at it from those different types of utility in the forms of form utility, possession utility, time utility, and place utility. So form, as you can see on the definition, what is the final shape of that product? How did we transform it from raw goods or whatever we received through that operation into the output? Remember, input, operations, output. So how did we transform it? It could have been something like, we took plastic pellets, went through an injection molder, and now you have a water bottle. Could be something like that. So the water bottle holds a lot more value than those plastic pellets, right? So that form is, what does our consumers want? So possession. So, when we're looking at that one, this one's a little bit more difficult to explain, but, we have the product and we want our customers to have it, so we try to influence them to think that they need it. Now, this is mainly through marketing, and supply chain is related to marketing, but, we want to develop the desire for the customer, make them choose our product over a competitor's product. It could be through something like a better design for the box, let's say more colors, more colorful than a plain brown box. It could be something like that. It could be all sorts of different things where the possession of it makes it more desirable. So people want to go through the exchange process of giving us money for that product, or that service is desirable. Time utility. So we want to make sure that product gets to our customer when they want it. So we want to make sure it gets to the store and is on the shelf before the store opens. So that way the customer walks in, goes to that shelf, and there's the product, which also ties into place utility. The customer expects it to be in a certain place. For example, if you ever go to the grocery store, you probably know where certain things are in that store. So you walk straight to that location, you look, and hopefully the product is there. If it's not there, you're kind of lost because it's like, it's supposed to be here. Some stores regularly change the layouts of their aisles to keep people looking. Like, for example, the Walmart near me used to have bread in the second aisle. So you had produce and then the aisle behind it. But now bread is on the 7th aisle. So you have to walk further into the store to get the bread. That could be because now you're looking at the aisles and be like, oh, do I need anything do I need peanut butter? Do I need jelly? Do I need salad dressing or barbecue sauce? If I'm only, going in there for bread, and I walk past all this other stuff, I'm likely to buy some other stuff. And that's what a retailer wants. So those are the forms of utility. Most of the time we look at form, time, and place. Possession, not so much, but it does play a factor. All right, so value dimensions. There's 5 value dimensions that we look at. So these are what can lead us to have a competitive advantage. If we have better innovations than our competitor, if we're more agile where we can change to meet our customers' need faster, or we have a better cost for our product. So when the consumer buys our product, it's more the value of our product, or the value that the customer has associated with our product, they're willing to pay. Like for me, I don't hold any value for an iPhone, but there's some people out there that will spend over $1,000 for an iPhone, or even $1,500 for an iPhone. I think that's crazy, but some people find the value in that iPhone. I think my phone was $600 or $700, but I find value in that phone. It's a Google phone or Android, and I'm not locked into the Apple ecosystem. That's why I feel that price was right. The quality, you're out there looking for a quality product, right? At least it has enough quality to get through what you need it to do. So, for example, think of paper plates. You can buy those flimsy white paper plates, and they're good enough to get through, let's say, a backyard barbecue, or you went camping and needed a lot of plates that were cheap that would get you through going camping. Or you can buy, let's say, the Chinette plates that are a little thicker. And my lights just went out. All right. Well, anyway, I'll just keep going. You guys will see everything just fine. But the Chinette, maybe you want to have a little bit of a backyard party. So the Chinette plates, which are a little thicker and more sturdy, are where you're going to go. Delivery. Is the product being delivered to where you want it, when you want it? We'll dive a lot more into delivery in the logistics section, but those are the 5 areas that we look at that create customer value. So different areas, we can consider different things. So section 2.4, have you ever gone somewhere that somebody said was really good, and when you get there and you have your own experience, you're like, why is this such a bad experience? I'm sorry, I got to get these lights back on here. Let's see, that should do it. All right. Okay. I think I have a timer set to turn off my lights in case they're ever forgotten to be turned off. But anyway, going back to this, we have different experiences when we go places. So if I raved about, let's say, the Thai food restaurant in Morgantown, and you go there with the high expectations because I talked so highly about that restaurant, and you go there, you have horrible service, your food wasn't good, you are going to be so dissatisfied with that, right? Well, it's actually in this flowchart here. So your expectations was it was going to be great, right? But your experience was not on the level of your expectation. So you were dissatisfied. You'll probably not return to that restaurant, and you probably will complain. You'll tell other people, or even tell the person who said go, that the place was horrible. I'm sure you guys have probably experienced that. But on the other hand, if you were told that some place is just okay or even bad, and you went there just because, it was convenient or whatever the case may be, you wanted to try it out for yourself because you didn't believe it was that bad, and you have a great experience. So your expectation was low, but you have a great experience, you're going to be delighted in that. So you're satisfied. You might compliment the service, tell others that you had a great time, and you'll probably go back, right? Well, if you're delighted, so you're really happy with what things went, you're going to probably be loyal. You'll go back again, and maybe again and again. Tell other people about the place. So this right here, this satisfaction perceptions is big, especially in the service side, but with the products too. Because if you have a product that is a good product, people like it, and then you come out with something new, and it just bombs, that's going to probably take some of your customers away because of that new product just did so horribly. Like, for example, when Coca-Cola came out with their clear drink, Pepsi did the same thing. I think they called it Crystal Pepsi. Everybody hated it, right? Or when New Coke came out, Now, this might have been before your guys' time, but they came up with a new formula for the taste of Coke. People hated it. So that's why we have Coca-Cola Classic now, to show that it's went back to that old formula. But in different countries had different responses to that. So the new Coke flavor is still produced. It's just not here in the United States because overwhelmingly new Coke was rejected. Same thing with Crystal Pepsi. People wanted what it was. They didn't want it to change. So think about that. Think about your expectation for somewhere because you might have heard about it, and then your actual experience. If you could probably figure out what you did based on how this lines up. If your experience is equal to your expectation, you're just satisfied. You're not happy about it. You're not mad about your experience. You're just kind of in the middle. So, all right. Let's see. Value proposition. Let's see. Actually, that's not what I want to talk to. I want the moment of truth. So, with a product, there's two touch points. So, there's a acquisition and a utilization touch point. That's the official terms. I'll just break it down simple to you. The acquisition, they put it in their shopping cart or took it off the shelf and took it to the register and paid for it. That's the acquisition. They've acquired the product. Hopefully that's easy to understand. The next one should be even easier. They use the product. Because most of the time, not in every case, but most of the time when you use a product, you can't return it, right? Most of the time. Now, of course, there's exceptions. But trying to get a refund from something you used, it can be difficult or it can be easy depending on who the retailer is. But using it, a lot of people will feel like they can't return it. So those are the two moments of truth. The moment someone decides to buy the product, and actually does, and the moment that they've actually used it. The utilization touch point. That's what the moment of truth are. There's two of them. So you have to get both. Because think about it. If you're managing inventory, you have inventory going out because people have bought it. You order more inventory to restock what was bought. You don't want that old inventory coming back as a return, right? You don't want it. Because that means you got to bring it in, probably have to take a look at it, make sure it's still sellable. If it's not, you have to do something with it. Right? Just like when you take something back to, let's say, Walmart. They're going to take a look at the product, and they might say, oh, this can go right back on the shelf because you didn't use it or whatnot. But if the box is torn open and it's just not in a sellable condition, they have to send it back and they lose money because they probably gave you a full refund, right? So things to consider, from both sides of this. You want your customers happy and keeping your product. All right, let's see here. Yeah, that's what I want to talk about on that one. So next thing, customer segmentation. Not every customer is equal. It's just a matter of fact when it comes to business. Some customers are more important because they might be buying more. You're making more profit off them. All sorts of different reasons, right? But think about it. If you are only buying one order for $100 a month, you are probably not that important to your supplier. But if you're ordering $1 million worth of product every week, you are probably extremely important to that supplier. So there's a way we can classify our customers. And when we classify them, we determine if we're going to get what level of service we're going to give them. So just taking a look at this, we have only a few A's, a little bit more in B's, and then the rest are C's. So that's why it's called an A, B, C classification. So the A's, those are the people that are getting like the royal treatment as a customer. They have a dedicated person that they call. In B, it's probably a team of 2 or 3 people that would take that call. C, they're probably ordering online through an internet website, or they're calling in their order or something, and they're just getting whoever answers the phone. No personalized experience there. But as soon as you move from C to B, you're a little bit more important. But if you move to A, you are calling and you're getting the same person on every time you call. Could be Mary answers the phone when you call. And they say, "Hey, how you doing?" And they know you by name. They know that you have a dog. They know that, you have a spouse and their birthday's coming up. So they say, "Happy birthday," or "You had a birthday." They know this kind of information about you because that's a level of service they want to give you to keep you happy. If you're in the C category, they don't know your name. They don't want to know your name. They just want your money. And if you never came back to them, they probably would not notice. I mean, just think about it. I mean, you probably would do the same thing. For example, when you go to the gas station, you fill up your vehicle, if you have one. You go inside because you want a Snickers bar. Do you know the gas station attendant's name if they weren't wearing a name tag? Probably not. And they probably don't know you. But if you're there every day, twice a day, because you run a taxi, they probably know your name. You know their name. You're more important of a customer to them because you're buying so much fuel. Just as an example. But we have our A customers or B customers or C, but we have a whole process where we can actually figure out where they end up, and we can sort them like that. So here, just this ABC classification, which is finished here. Abbott Laboratories is spending $5 million, and they were the number 1 customer there. And looks like they just did it alphabetically. But when we do the panel B based on sales, Bristol Myers Squibb is spending $26 million. That's 56% of sales, it says here. Or actually, A is 56% of sales. So that's a lot of sales. So you got 26 million, Johnson & Johnson's 23 million, almost 24. American Company, 15.1. That's a lot of money there. 56% of all your sales are going to 3 companies. They're probably getting some nice treatment. But when you get all the way down here, Allergan Incorporated is only spending $1,800. $1,800 out of $116 million in total sales. If Allergan Incorporated was to fall off the face of the earth, no one would notice. Because $1,700, when you're worried about $116, is a rounding error. That's what it is. So, anyway, we can see here the instructions on how to do in the ABC classification. Basically, you're classifying based on sales and your company's strategy. Your company can change how it works with different companies based on the strategy, right? So you could say that you want to focus more on American companies because you're in America. Or you're in Germany and you want to focus more on German companies. You can do that. You can take and put different companies into A category or B category. So you don't have to be stuck with doing it by sales here. You can mix and match. But most of the time, you go by sales. That's just how it is, because the almighty dollar or Deutschmark or yen or yuan is the thing to do. All right. So yeah, you want to do sales strategy, and then every so often you want to reevaluate. There might be, this Becton Dickinson might have crossed the threshold to becoming part of the A's instead of the B. Or somebody from C jumps into the B section because, they've made it. So, yeah, there's a lot of reasons to reevaluate. So, All right, so that's all I want to talk about out of 2.5. Let's move on to 2.6. Customer relationship management. So this, when we say CRM, that's the abbreviation for it, we're usually talking about a computer system that handles all our customer-related data and customer relationship management. So we want to maintain a good relationship with our customers. So, yeah. When we look at it, we usually capture some type of data, whether our customers filled out an online form or we've bought the data or something like that. We've somehow gotten the data. But we also go one step further and we want to get stuff like, what are they buying? What kind of categories are they buying? So there might be some rewards cards that we're looking at. So like when you go to Sam's Club or any of the warehouse clubs, you probably have a card. So you can't check out until you scan that card. So everything you buy is associated with you. So for some of you, if you guys, let's say you don't have kids yet, I dare you to go out and buy diapers once. You can go ahead and return them after that. But just by you buying diapers once, you're going to start getting all sorts of baby coupons. You might get some sample baby detergent for washing clothes. You might get some baby formula. So like when my son, when we were starting to buy stuff for my son back in 2020, we got baby formula. Didn't ask for it. It just showed up. You might get some Gerber Life type advertisements just from buying diapers. Now, of course, it's not going to happen right away. You might have to wait a month or maybe a little bit longer, but you'll probably start getting stuff. So yeah, just think about it. And if you are that much of a daredevil, go ahead and buy baby diapers, maybe some baby food, maybe baby wipes, and see what happens. Because it happened to me, happened to all my friends that have kids. All they did was buy it once, and of course, you have to scan some type of loyalty card, so that way it's associated with you. So places that don't have it, like Walmart, for example, you won't get those kind of stuff. But if you buy it online, where your name is associated with that purchase and your address, they'll start sending you stuff. What's really interesting is when they start sending you stuff like for senior citizens. Yeah, I'm not that old, but I'm getting stuff like that. All because of this CRM. Somehow, I don't know what I did, and I started getting, what was it? Shoot, I forget what it's called. Whatever the senior citizens discount is. There's an organization. AARP, that's it. Started getting stuff from the AARP saying I can join for as little as like $10 a year or something like that. I don't qualify because you have to be 65 to qualify. I am nowhere near 65. I'm not even over the hill yet. So, yeah, be careful. If you can, try to get the loyalty card without submitting a name. For example, I have a loyalty card with Giant Eagle, and they gave me the card and said, fill out the form and hand it over to the service desk. I just walked right out the door. I did the same thing with Sheets. They wanted me to fill out a form to get some coupons in the mail or a birthday coupon or something like free coffee on your birthday. I just kept the card and didn't fill out the form. So there's data being associated with that barcode, but there's no name or address associated to it, so they can't do anything with that data. Excuse me. All right. However, one of the things that we have to look at is the dark side of data. So one of the things people think about with data is that what has been going on in the past is going to predict the future. And that's just not the case. We're not going to get, let's say, if you look outside and it's been raining for 3 days, can you predict that the next day it's going to rain just by looking outside for 3 days and seeing rain? It might be the sunniest day on Earth the next day, but So the past does not necessarily pick the future, or does not predict the future, I should say. And when you're looking at this stuff, sometimes you're looking at data like shopping data, and you're looking for specific things. Like, for example, if my wife has a Sam's Club card and I have a Sam's Club card, but there's, let's say, one transaction on my wife's card because she was interested in finding out what Sam's Club was like. Well, there's only one data point for her, but it's still an active account, where there's multiple data points for me because I primarily shop at Sam's Club. My wife doesn't. My wife will do regular grocery shopping. I'll handle Sam's Club. So it's, that's how it is. Sometimes it's like that. What if you moved and there's no more data that's on your account anymore? But then your data pops up because you went home to visit your folks and you went to the local grocery store to buy, I don't know, a birthday card. Now there's another data point there, but there's missing data for, let's say, 2 years. So analytics can only show you so much, and it's a whole new game. If you guys are interested in figuring out a miner that works well with supply chain, it's data analytics. It's called the BUDA program, BUDA. So the business data analytics. That is a great one to combine with supply chain. Also marketing. So I would recommend that if you guys are interested in that, but I think you guys are probably too far along to consider adding in a minor, because usually students are a junior when they're taking this class, or they're a senior. So it's up to you. If you guys are interested in a minor, talk to your advisors. They will definitely help you out there. All right. So yeah, data doesn't necessarily predict the future. It only tells you what has happened in the past. Only what's happened in the past. But sometimes you don't need rock solid data for the future. You just need to get in the ballpark. So that's why forecasting, a forecast is never correct, but it can be pretty close. All right. The discussion and practice questions. Take a look. I don't recall which one I put down for you guys because I try to change it every so often. But yeah, take a look at the chapter. Shoot me an email if you guys have any questions, and I'll be happy to answer them. We can set up a Zoom session if you guys want to do that. And I'm not going to repeat myself. I was just about to say, if you have any questions, send me an email. If you guys need help, you know how to reach me. And I hope you guys have a great day, and stay safe. All right, bye.